there are certain things I love to do that are also good for my health. Like shopping.
BestMed Medical Scheme. Better living, better life.
Better living, better life indeed. When I contracted glandular fever and ended up being sick for the better part of almost 3 months, I got a shock crash course in what it is to be supported in terms of your medical fees. Elnaree Hendricks is here from BestMed Medical Schemes to educate us in this very often very confusing field of medical schemes, medical insurance, and how we should be approaching what is essential for all of us. Elnaree, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Graham.
If you can, in a broad stroke, just explain to us what a medical scheme is and an administrator. Just give us, in layman's terms, what we're dealing with.
Medical schemes are registered with the Council for Medical Scheme. The medical scheme provides you with a product that you take out and meets your needs. So if you are a person who needs a hospital plan, then you can get it from the medical scheme. If you need something with a bit more benefits, then you can also obtain it from the medical scheme. The administrator actually does all the back office work. In easier terms, it does all the administration of your claims, it takes your calls on authorizations, and it can also do the managed healthcare, which is something that relates to your story on your glandular fever, where you need to get all the authorizations to be admitted to hospital, etc.
Because it really is a minefield out there, especially when you start dealing with the hospitals and the bigger fees. You as an individual are now dealing with institutions, with really big companies, and we can often be misrepresented in that. As I understand it, a medical scheme is a non-profit entity. It needs to run at a profit, but this then puts the onus on us to make sure that when we are looking for the right medical scheme, that we investigate, that we find out a bit more about what we're dealing with, so we're not going in there blind.
That's correct. Medical schemes are regulated by the Council for Medical Schemes, as I've said. And there are certain regulations that we must adhere to. One of the things is that a medical scheme must at least have 25% of reserves at all times, and that protects you as a member. Members have access to their benefits because they are cross-subsidizing each other, and in events like that where you actually need more than what you have contributed to the medical scheme, you know that the fund is operating in such a way that the one subsidizes the others and actually take care of that. So the liability to pay the claims lie with a medical scheme then.
Okay, so this, in other words, is a great protection for me as the individual. It gives me accountability. I can trace the success of my scheme, but it also gives me a person to phone when things do go wrong, when I do hit a complication.
That is correct. And we must remember that you must look at a product that is suitable for your needs. Right? We all know that we are young and we are reckless and we're thinking that nothing will ever happen to us.
Others, yes.
Exactly. So with the result, we go in and we think that a hospital plan will be sufficient. But unfortunately for us, we've got to admit we grow older and our needs change. It's not just that you grow to the stage where you will start needing optical benefits or your dental benefits need to be upped a bit. Those things are gradual things. You get into the phase of life where you start with a family and you start needing more benefits. So what you need to establish at all times is, what is my needs now? Speak to either your medical scheme or to your healthcare advisor. They will take you through the process. They will tell you, okay, we have assessed you, Graham. When you initially started on your medical scheme, this was what you needed. But now it's changed, You unfortunately work pressure, things that happen in your life. You actually need to build up to the next level of benefits now. And that should then protect you also, to know that whatever stage you are in life, you can gradually upgrade. And as you go to that stage, the options within a medical scheme range will allow you to have access to those types of benefits.
Because I think far too often, with life insurance, a lot of those sorts of things, as a young person, you kind of shelve it. You don't give it that much importance. But ideally, you want to start as early as possible so that you can, first of all, form a relationship, but that you yourself are educated for when these gateways in your life come.
That's totally right. And you need to make sure that whatever you do is in line with where you are in life. With medical schemes especially, I think we tend to forget that. We go around and we do all our other things as where we are at which stage in life we are, but we tend to forget that we've got to grow within that as well. It's a fact. We start developing chronic conditions. We start developing certain ailments at certain times that require more benefits. And within your medical scheme, it is available. It depends on you to make sure that you actually do grow up with your medical scheme and into the next products.
Also a great way of getting a snapshot of where your health is and where you are in your life. Eldery, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll continue our education in medical schemes. In our next session, we'll look at exactly how you can go about building your own and connecting in the right way. But I think all of us cannot take it for granted. It's one of those things you only know that you really need it when you really need it, so plan ahead.